Hello, welcome to Code Ethics. Today we'll be continuing our Cypress automation class and we'll be looking at checkboxes in Cypress. So we'll actually be looking at how to automate checkboxes in Cypress. So quickly, let me give you a hint of what we'll be doing today. Of course, we'll still continue with our demo QA. So we'll go to element checkboxes, see checkbox. So this is what we'll be automating today. In our last class, we actually handled this. So today we'll be looking at checkbox in Cypress. So what's our job here? Our job is actually to automate these checkboxes to see if they can click. You can see when you click here, all of these are shown. Now, there are nested checkboxes here. If you click here now, you see all these are going to come up. And each of these also have things inside them. They have checkboxes inside them again. So you can see all this. So what we're going to do is we're not just going to come here and just check this and say, hey, we can handle this. No. What we're going to do is we're going to look at, maybe just come here, come to desktop, and then click either of these. Yes, that is going to be our target. And I bet you that if you can handle this, then you can handle any checkbox on any website. That's your next truth. So because this website is actually for practice, and the practice is not something that you just come in and walk your ways around easily and go. This website was designed with the mindset of making your hands dirty as it should be in the industry. And actually this checkbox will expose us to a lot of things, that a lot of new things. So I will just advise you to sit tight and follow the class through. So quickly we'll go and open our work environment. So we'll just come here, right click and open with code. Now, if you don't see this, if you are not seeing this, please just, if you right click and for one reason or the other, you are not seeing this. Of course, if you followed our first class, then please just open from here, then you can just use code space dot enter, and that will automatically open your work. So the work is already open. So today now, as I said, we'll be looking at checkbox in Cypress. So what we're going to do is to just highlight this and shift alternate arrow key down. That is going to duplicate it for me. So I don't need all of this. I don't need all of this for now. So let's just delete this. Of course, we'll still be leaving this, and let's put our title here. Checkbox, sorry, checkboxes in Cypress. Okay, save. Okay, so now let's go out there and get our hands dirty. So the first thing we're going to do here is, let's start from the home page. The first thing we're going to do here is to click this element. We've always been doing that. So it's all over here, site.contains.element click. So we'll just copy this. I feel no need of doing that because we've been doing it all along. And, so we save. Now the next thing we're going to do is, having clicked here, we'll now come and click checkbox. In our last meeting, we click this. So it's still the same process, you right click, go to inspect, and your pick tool will come here and pick. So you see we have a container here, checkbox. So it's exactly the same process that we went through to get this one. So let's just follow the same process. We'll actually use a container which contains checkbox. So in this case, we'll just copy this and paste it here. But here, instead of putting text box, we'll just come here and copy this. This is actually what we want. Checkbox. Please make sure that you're copying the right thing. Good. You save. So now look at what will happen now. Once this is clicked, the next target is going to come here and look for this, which is checkbox, and then click on it. And now once we get here, we now want to expand this. We want to expand this because remember that our target is to click expand this, then expand desktop, and then check this command. That is our target. So we want to expand this actually. And how are we going to do that? All we need to do is to use our pick tool again to check. Now, when you look at this closely, you see that we have a class. And here we have two classes, of course. The first class is Let me remove this highlight here. The first class is rct-icon. While the second class is, of course, classes are separated with a space. You can see there's a space here. So the second class is rct-icon-expand-close. And if you look again, you see that we don't have ID. So we might not have to work with this class. Let's look at the first class first and see if it's unique for us to work with. And here we're going to look for our group arts dot. We have 5 elements highlighted and we can use this. So we'll go for the second one, the second class. So let's go for this. Remember, because it's a class, we use dots. Good. One element highlighting, and which is this. So we are just going to use this. So this will now click on this toggle here to toggle it. So what we will now have to do is to say sci.get, and this is what it should be getting for us. And what do we want to do? We want to click. So that's it. Now, having gotten this, let's just save. Now, having clicked here, our next is to click here again. So we pick and then come here and select. Now, look at this closely. We are still having the same class again. Now, when you look at it, you see the class rct-icon-expand-close. Now, let's use it again. Dot 3-element matching. So now that we have 3-element matching, and invariably this is not unique, what are we going to do? And when you look at it, look closely here, you see that there's actually nothing left for us to work with again. So what I'm going to do in this case, that is going to take us to in JavaScript what is called array. Now let's look at it. I'll take you straight to the documentation so that you don't have to take my word for it, and I will explain to you how array is being used in JavaScript. So let's quickly jump to our documentation. Let's say array in JavaScript. Fine, array in JavaScript. Just click it. And this is not what we're looking for. We'll go to the documentation here. This is documentation developer.mozilla.org. So we'll just click this. Fine. This is exactly what we want. Now, there's something I want you to look at. Array, what it does is that it enables storing a collection of multiple items under a single variable name. Yes, I know you are confused, but let me copy this so that I'll bring it here where we can, make justice to it. So let's put it here and say an array. Yeah, does all of this. Now, an array enables storing a collection of multiple items under a single variable name. What are we actually trying to say? What does that mean? Let's look at an example. Just scroll down the documentation. Come here, you have an example. Exactly. Now, they said here, let me put this. Good. Fine. An array enables storing a collection of multiple items. Collection of multiple items. We have apple, we have banana, collection of multiple items under a single variable name. This is a single variable name, a variable name of fruits. In JavaScript, there are 2 ways you declare your variable. Either you use const or you use let. Now, if you are using const, it means that is a constant. You are not intending to use that variable elsewhere. But if you are using let to declare a variable, then that variable can be used in other places. So if you want to declare a variable and you know that you're not going to use it elsewhere, you can just use const. So now a variable has been declared here, and the variable name here is fruit, which is as defined here. An array enables the storing of collection of multiple items, which we are having here, under a single variable name. So this is the single variable name fruit. Now under this fruit, you now have an array of different fruits. You have apple, you have banana, you have mango, you have orange, you have strawberry, you have pear, name it. All different type of fruits that possibly you want to list can now come in as an array under this variable fruit. Now you can have an array of name and then have different names. You can have John, you can have James, you can have Michael, you can have Elizabeth under the array of names. So that is just all what array does. Array is enable storing a collection of multiple items under a single variable name. And then the next thing we're going to look at here is that array are zero index. Now I explain what that means. Now, I just said that arrays are zero index. What do I mean? Ordinarily, if I am to count this array here, this is number 1, this is number 2. But arrays don't count that way. Arrays start their counting from 0. So when you are actually indexing this array, you start from 0. This is 0. So the apple is on 0 index, while banana is on 1 index. So if I want to fetch banana now, all I just have to do put on the array is 1, and banana will be fetched. If I want to fetch apple, all I have to put in the array is 0, and apple will be fetched. Arrays are 0 index. So let me possibly expatiate it. Let me just bring it here and let me expand this. Now this is our array, and for simplicity's sake, let me add more arrays. We have mango, we have orange, we have strawberry. Of course, all these are fruits. Then we have pear. Now let's assume we'll remove this. Now this is our array. Now let's say now that we have an array of fruits which carries all of these fruits, in our database, and we want to count it. Now when we say that array is 0 index, look at what we mean. Here is seen as 0. Here is 1. Here is 2. Here is 3. Here is 4. And here is 5. Now ordinarily we have 6 items here if you are counting from your normal counting way 1 2 3 4 5 6. But arrays, because they are 0 index, they start their counting from 0. Take note of that. Now what we're going to do here, coming back to what we have here, now having seen this, all we now have to do is to say, okay, we have 3 arrays here, and considering the fact that arrays are 0 index, we'll now tell Cypress, hey, come fetch me, click on the 0th index of the 3 arrays that we have here. That's exactly what we're going to do, because there's no other way we can get this from here. I told you earlier that this demo QA, at the end of the day, actually it starts gradually, but as you are moving, you start advancing gradually, and that is actually the idea of this website, so that you grow as you practice. So let's go to our Cypress and get that code, or rather VS Code. Now we have sci.get. Okay, we still need to copy this. Now, because we want the 0th index, in Cypress we have what we call EQ, which is equal. You can see it has already highlighted equal. I want it to equal an index, which I want an array of 0 index, and that's exactly what has happened here. Now we have 3 arrays here. This is first, second, third, and which is the 0 1 2. So if I come here now and put 2 here, it's going to come and click on this download. If I come here and put 1, it's going to come and click on documents. But we want our task is to actually click on desktop, so that is why I'm putting 0. So instead of clicking first, the first thing I want it is equal EQ equals 0, and then when you get fetch that, click. That's all. So I would like us to run this code at this stage, though we are not done. I'd like us to run this code at this stage and see if what we've done so far is okay. So we'll just go to our terminal and npm run test. Now, before we click here, we talked about, I think in our last class or so, we talked about dot only. So I will actually want to run only this test. But before then, before then, I think in our last class we're having errors, and I want us to go and deal with that error, and we're having this uncut exception error, and that error was actually coming from the website. So we'll have to go and handle. Let me just run only this one. This is our last class. So I'll click on dot only. So let's come here and run so that we can get that error and find a way to. There's a way we can handle that error so that we'll stop getting that error and focus on our task. So I just paused this video. I actually have to run it. I ran this code. Sorry about that. I actually had to, run the code several times to be able to get this error. So now we're having this error. When this error comes up like this, there's a way you have this uncut expression. So there's a way we can handle it by actually putting it off on Cypress. Now, when you look at this lemon, let's just go through the documentation so that you actually learn by working with documentation. Now, look at what they say. You can turn off this behavior globally. And how do you do that? You go to the catalog event. Now, this is actually where you turn it, the code to turn off the uncut exception error. So we're going to copy this code and paste it on our describe. That is going to off we'll paste it here. Good. So whenever this error comes up again, being that we've already asked Cypress to return it false and not true, we're not going to see that error again. So you can see the code is already running and good. Good. You can see the code is not, the error is not found. Okay, so let's go back to we can now close this. Let's go back to our VS Code. And we can remove this only here. Dot only and put it here because this is actually what we want to test. First, I want to close this. So now I save. I can now come here and click on the test to run. So let's see what happens, how far we've gone with our code. Good. Now you can see that it has actually found this and then expand it for us. So our next target now is to click on this command. And then once you click it, it's checked. And we're going to have our confirmation here that command, you have selected command. And that's just it. So let's go fix that. So the next question now is how do we get our command? We'll go to our website and then haven't clicked this now. We need this. Now we'll use our pick tool again and then click select on this. We have this class title and command. Let's see this class. Invariably, it's not going to be unique. We have 6 elements. So instead, let's just use contain. Let's use contain. So we're going to come here and say side.contains. And what are we looking for? We're looking for command. And what do we want? Click on it. And that's it. So let me stop here because once I save, it automatically starts running. Let me stop it. So I'll just save here now and let's run it and see. Good. Our test has passed. So now you can now see that everything just worked smoothly. Now it has come here, clicked on the command, and the checkbox is checked, and we have a confirmation that command has been selected. That is just it. And if you've done this with me, Bravo. Now, today you see that we are actually, growing in automation testing. Today you've been able to learn outside what we are doing. We've been able to learn about array, and then we've actually been able to, stop this uncut exception that we're having, the error we're having here from the website. So actually, this class, if you are patient with me, you are going to grow because I have a lot. This class is actually going to be very long, and all we just need to do is patient because it's actually not easy, making this video and uploading this video and all that. So just be a little bit patient with me, but grow with me. And at the end of the day, you're going to hit your hand on your chest and say, wow, I am a software quality assurance. So if you've done this with me, thank you. Bravo. You've done a great work today. Happy testing. And please, I want to appeal, if you haven't liked this video, please just hit that like button and subscribe so that you'll be updated once new video comes in. Thank you very much.